My name is Rogers Anderson. I decided to join the Air Force rather than going through the basic draft. The emotional side, I think, when you go to Vietnam is a lot different as soon as you land there. Your training kicks in quickly. Hearing mortar shells or hearing the M16 throughout the night. Even when you're in a hutch with a bunch of guys talking like guys do, you're still thinking about your surroundings, where you're at. I remember one particular night they were walking in with the shells and got pretty close to the barracks we were in, and of course they had the sirens going off, and one of the guys lost the lower part of his leg. And so all of us just jumped in, but that's what you did. Growing up, you took care of each other. I think any young man that goes through Vietnam, there are special connections you make with other guys your age, maybe even a drill sergeant that was 10, 15 years older, because you really depended on each other to survive there. I don't think I had the traumatic experience that a lot of boys had because of the upbringing of my parents. We had a deep faith in my house, deep faith, and that carried me through many a time. It got a little deeper when I was in Vietnam, I'll promise you that. You learn to deal with things, of what you could deal with, and when you couldn't handle it, just give it off to somebody with a higher power, which for me was a good Lord, and say, well, you just handle this. I'll make the next day, and you take care of that. Some tried to bury themselves. Vietnam probably had more drugs there than anything in Tennessee. People probably don't want to say that, but that was a way you kind of released some of that frustration. But at the end of the day, it's no different than here. That's just temporary. I'd say the chaplain stayed pretty busy. I encourage all people to get yourself right, because there were some boys that got themselves right quickly. Some came back. They've got all kinds of issues. They've had them for 20 and 30 and 40 years. Some didn't. It was a very turbulent time in our United States with many, many people hating the soldier. They got mixed up on hating the soldier and hating the war. The Jane Fondas of the world that were constantly ridiculing. People forget she's a human, but she drew the line in the sand, what she thought was important. And I drew the line in the sand. Mine just happened to be on the other side of her. I think time has a way of healing a lot of things. I think it's important that all of us, as Vietnam veterans, acknowledge that you were in the military during that time. That was part of that patriotic gene that so many of us had, to serve our country and make it a better place for us to live and work and raise your family.